As the court pleases, my lord, I just got two submissions, my lord, to make. On the introduction of a new evidence, my lord, I submit that the state is supposed to bring the application for the recalling of Mr. Mabaso, who is the one who introduced the Exhibit S, my lord, which contained the photo album that is before this court. Therefore, my lord, my submission is that from the submissions made by the state, it is not clear the reason why these pictures were not presented by the same witness, which is Mr. Mabaso, at the time when he testified. Because the state is, in paragraph 3, my lord, is making submissions to say the state was in possession of these pictures at the time when Mr. Mabaso testified. But as to the reason why this information, this new evidence that they intend to introduce now was not presented, it is not included in the submissions by the state, my lord. My lord, secondly, the new evidence by law can be introduced at any stage, even during the state case or even after the defense case, but provided a proper application is made before the court, and the reasons for the failure to include such information or evidence are placed before court. Because if that is not done, my lord, it affects a right to a fair trial of an accused person, in that he had not been given an opportunity to present and to prepare and to conduct his case on the evidence that has been presented before court. If such a new evidence is presented at this stage, the accused the right to a fair trial of an accused is automatically violated, my lord, because he has presented his case without knowing that this information, this portion of evidence will be used against him in order to prepare his defense case adequately. Thirdly, my lord, the witness who is before this court now is not the witness who presented the Exhibit S before this court. Therefore, my lord, the new evidence cannot be introduced through this witness. Even if the court can grant the state such a leave to introduce a new evidence, but it has to be introduced by Mr. Mabaso, who is the one who introduced the pictures which are contained in Exhibit S, my lord. Yeah, thank you, my lord. Those were my submissions.
Okay, any response? Sorry.
Udaba olukhona ke manje ukuthi kunofakazi inhlangothi noma ithimba ke labashushisele ngaphandle ikhomplex ngaphambi kwenkosenkantolo ke ufakazi obuhamba malana noma ufakazi ophukama phakathi ke ithombe lezo ke bakhuluma ngazo ke ezaka Mshololo wesibili lapho umnumzana uNtanzi futhi nomnumzana ke umncubeke kepha ke ithimba labameli benu lanqaba ukuthi ekuthizeni ke ithimba labashushisi ke liqhamuke ngalolu daba lokho ngoba ufakazi lo khona ke manje phakathi yagininda bathi agena ke umuntu kadada adownload ke ithombe lezo ngaphakathi ocingolweni noma kwamakhalekhukhwini benu ke lapho ke bathi umnumzana kuMabaso kade asenza ke lo msebenzi loyo ke futhi kwamele ukuthi kube khona ke izathu lapho ke ezikhona ke futhi noma izathu ezibekwa ngaphambili qala ukuthi kungani befisa ukuthi balethe kufakazi lobo futhi bathi ke abameli benu ke lapho ke kumele ukuthi kube umnumzana uMabaso ukuqala ukuthi uyena ke ozana lethombe lezi bese abhale ke affidavit bese asho ukuthi athahle ithombe lezo sithole kuphi nendawo noma wasithola kuphi ke ngaphambi ukuthi ufakazi uBrigadier Gininda ke babuze ke imibuzo ukuthi bathi akusuye ozene izithombe lezi kepha ke akube umnumzana Mabaso ngoba kade kuye bekazile futhi uye bagcwalisa imibukiso ka exhibit S ushuthi lapho ke athe khona ke izithombe lezi kade zikhona la ngaphambi kwenkosenkantolo njengofakazi kade bukhona ke manje ukuthi uma ngabe ithimba ke labashushisi lifisa ukuthi ke lohole noma lihambe kulolu daba lokuthi ziyoqhamuka ufakazi obusha ke kwamele ukuthi lapho benze ke isicelo ngokukhethekile futhi futhi ngokusemthethweni ngoba ke banalo ilungelo ukuthi ke lapho ke benza isicelo uma ngabe icala lisahleli ngaphambi kwenkantolo noma icala uma ngabe selifike emaphethelweni ke lapho ke futhi bancaba ke ukuthi njengamanje bakhulume ngakho kepha bathi lo msebenzi lo ke isothi isinqumo soqhamuka kwinkosi yenkantolo.
Yes, any response?
As a court, please, my lord, my colleague Dr. Sibanda is going to reply to the issues that were raised. I just want to point out one aspect, my lord, regarding the argument of Advocate Nisi.
Is that allowed, sir?
As a court, please, I'll leave it to Dr. Sibanda.
No, you are the one addressing this court.
Yes.
Now you're saying you are abdicating that position.
No.
Your colleague should take over. I'm
Yes.
asking, is that allowed?
Well, I think if there are two counsel in the case, they can address different issues
Fine.
as they arise. Yes,
Right, but you addressed that issue first
yes. Of the
and argued it.
of section 166. Yes.
Now you're saying your learned colleague should take over. All I want to know, is it justified in terms of our law?
Well, there's as I mentioned, counsel can divide
Yes.
the work amongst themselves.
You are right.
And
But you don't leave an argument hanging in the air.
yes,
And then I continue.
yes.
You read that case, man. State
Yes,
versus,
the court did refer to that, yes.
yeah,
Yes,
Hatzenbeck, he was sitting here actually.
Yes, but
Hatzenbeck, when he made that decision.
Yeah.
1975, I think.
yes, but it's no problem at all, my lord. We
No, it's not me, it's the law.
Yes, yes,
Anything I say, Mina, is the law. I
Yes.
don't make decisions based on
yes,
nothing.
yes.
If you could persuade me that it is allowed, we can adjourn.
Yes.
If you can persuade me that it's allowed.
We don't want
You
to
present
belabor that.
an
Yes.
argument, and then in response, you say your learned colleague should take over.
Yes,
We all know you are
yes,
in the same matter.
yes. If my memory serves me well, that case of Eisenberg said two counsel cannot cross-examine the same witness.
Yeah.
But there's nothing that stops counsel
No.
from.
Hatzenbeck
Yes,
was a brilliant jurist. You can't shaft him because he was talking about two counsels not presenting evidence in the same matter. Being
Yes.
two. There were certain reasons why he did that.
yes,
And the fact that he was speaking about the presentation of a case and not the argument in terms of the law.
yes,
You can't say it's not relevant also.
yes. But
That's why I say I can adjourn, you must...
Malat, really, we don't really want to make an issue out of this.
Okay, fine.
I will address those issues. The first one is the point raised by Advocate Nisi, that the state must first conduct the re-examination of Brigadier Gininda, then thereafter make a fresh application for the reopening of or make an application to lead further evidence. I hope I understood him correctly.
Yeah,
And
that's how I understand it.
and I think that is a point that was also buttressed by Advocate Mshololo and I think the rest of council.
Yeah.
My lord, the point is this: if one looks at section 166, it says with the leave of the court,
Yeah, it says that.
any evidence can be led. It doesn't restrict the leading of such new evidence to any specific point. So it extends to any evidence that is sought to be led. And my lord, we want to make the point that it will really be circuitous to lead Brigadier Gininda just on certain aspects, let him to stand down and bring a fresh application that certain evidence be led. I think that would be, and we say this with the greatest of respect, that would be a waste of court's time and a waste of resources. The Constitution is clear that this we see in section 173, my lord, that the Constitutional Court, the Supreme Court of Appeal, and the High Courts have the inherent power to protect and regulate their own process. We therefore submit, my lord, that it will be perfectly permissible should the application be granted to lead Brigadier Gininda on these photos. We've mentioned, my lord, in our heads that should this evidence be regarded as hearsay evidence, we will bring an application for the downloaders, namely Sergeant Mabasa and Warrant Officer Ndlovu, to be recalled regarding the totality of the photos that were downloaded. It is indeed so, my lord, that Exhibit S contained photos that were selected from, the totality of the photos at the request of Brigadier Gininda, just to show certain features of accused number 3, but the rest of the photos are there, and we have made them available to the defense. Colonel House, in his affidavit, does canvass, and in this page 13 of his affidavit, that the photos were retrieved from the disk or memory card of accused number 2, and I'm really baffled by the submission of Mr. Of my colleague, Mr. Ramsepeli, that he asked us as to the source and that we couldn't finish the answer. I mean, we told him, we even, in fact, he's the one who said it's Colonel House, and I said yes, this Colonel House. But anyway, we are the last people to want to cast aspersions. We therefore submit, my lord, that the application ought to be granted, and we stand by those submissions, my lord.
Yeah, but you see, Mr. Ramsepeli says he doesn't even know where these photos come from.
Well,
in other words, they could have been picked up in a dustbin, as far as he's concerned.
Well, we just want to refer the court to the proceedings of the 16th of April 2024, page 18.
Yeah.
And there's the evidence of Warrant Officer Ndlovu, the downloader of the cell phone of accused number 2, wherein he testified as follows regarding that submission by Mr. Ramsepeli. Says also the cell phone has one SD card, memory card, then all 2 SIM cards and the SD card were successfully extracted with XRY forensic tool. The then cell phone itself was unsuccessfully extracted due to the fact that it had a pattern, as Mr. Ramsepeli mentioned. Then he carries on at line 20. Then the results were burnt on a CD and sealed in a forensic bag. He gives the forensic bag number. Then it was kept into the safe, waiting to be collected by the investigating officer. this is the source of those photos. And we further wish to refer to the proceedings of the 23rd of May 2024, page 103.
Okay.
This is the cross-examination of Mr. Ramos Sepeli of Mr. House, line 7. Mr. Ramos Sepeli says, so I'm not going to go through picture by picture. I'm just going to summarize them as we have written them in paragraph 7.31. In respect for this paragraph, that accused will tell the court that the photos depicted on pages 13, 14, 16, 17, 18, and 21, which were, according to the data, created, accessed, and edited on 4 January 2021, were not done by him because he did not have this device on him at the time. Then Colonel Ho says, I cannot comment. Then Mr. Ramsepele, okay. And similarly with the screenshot in terms of paragraph 7.3.2 and the newspaper article in paragraph 7.3.3, accused one will deny that he's the one that accessed, modified, and created those images. In summary, my lord, we're saying that there is evidence already before the court regarding the downloading of the totality of those photos, and if need be, we will call the downloaders regarding the authenticity of these photos that we want to present before the court. So, God, please.
So, if I understand the defense, you are not averse to the application to recall the evidence regarding the photos which Mr. Balui allegedly wants to introduce into the case. You are not adverse, you are just saying this is not the opportune time to do it. Am I understanding everybody like that?
My lord, certainly we cannot stop the state from leading evidence that they think it's material to the occasion relevant, yes.
Is that how you understand your position? So,
that is correct, my lord. Thank you.
Yes, my lord, that is correct. But I've also raised, my lord, the issue of the reasons why that evidence was not raised before, was not introduced before, that it must be placed on record. Thank you, my lord. The reasons why this evidence was not introduced by that witness when he was testifying. Thank you.
Are these people still alive?
Of course.
Ndlovu and
And Mabasa.
Mabasa, are they still alive?
Yes, of course, ma'am.
In South Africa, we die every day. So where do they live? I mean, or stations?
Yeah.
Are they in Gauteng or?
Well, Sergeant Mabasa is in Gauteng, but Warren of St. Jove is in Mpumalanga, in Middelburg. But I'm told that they can be here next week.
It can be?
They can be here next week.
Next week?
Yes.
Okay. Are you still going to call any other witness besides them?
No, my lord, as we indicated that Brigadier Gininda is our last witness. We don't intend to...
No, you just told me you got
Yes,
some footage.
Yes. Well, that will... Once we receive the footage, we'll obviously, as Advocate Nisi requested, we'll be giving the footage to the defense, hear what the standpoint is, and take it from there, my lord.
Okay, fine.